If you're a man over 40 and you're not seeing results in the gym, you are probably making one of these 5 mistakes, and I'm gonna show you here on this video. What I'm gonna do for you is I'm gonna show you exactly what they are based upon all of my experience, but more importantly, I'm gonna show you how to fix them so you can finally get in the best shape of your life. But before we get started, my name is Bartram. I'm 61 years old and I've been in the fitness industry for over 40 years. I've seen a lot. I've been featured on ESPN, over 100 magazine covers. And more importantly than anything else, I run a health and fitness coaching company for high-performing men over 40 like you called Maximize Man Elite. So why don't we just go ahead and jump into this so we can get you some results right away. Okay, so mistake number 1, let's be honest, you're training like you're 20 years old. I got news for you. You're not 20. You're over 40 years old and you're not the athlete that you were in college. Most likely, hopefully you will be again one day. But what I see a lot of times is guys get in their head and think, oh, I can do this, and they jump in too quickly. So some of the mistakes that you're making is you're chasing PRs. Just begin to tell you the amount of times that guys say, Clark, I benched 315 today. Why? What is the purpose? You're not trying to be a power lifter. You're trying to look great. You're trying to get abs. You're trying to get in shape. And chasing PRs is not going to do that. You're acting like you're 20. I just said that. If there's young guys in the gym, I like to be around the younger energy as well, but I'm not going to do things that are going to cause me to get injured because I want to be able to show up every single day. So look, don't get your ego in the way of getting the gains that you want because that's never going to help you. And this attitude of go hard or go home, no pain, no gain. Bro, I trained for 2 hours today. It makes no sense. You should be in the gym. In all honesty, in my opinion, your workout should take you no more than 30 minutes. So if you are being efficient with your time, getting the right exercises in, which I'll show you, and you are not chasing PRs, you're not training like you're 20, you're gonna be able to recover faster. That is key as we get older. We want to make sure that we are recovering. We don't want to get injured. How many times have you heard a guy that jumped into the deep end of the pool and he started training too hard? Maybe it was you. Yeah, Clark, I know what you're talking about. Shoulders. Like shoulders are a big injury and they're hard to come back from. So why push yourself so hard to where you're injured and you can't be consistent? And then finally, we should be chasing this more than anything else, longevity. We should be after the muscle that is going to keep us younger longer. So be smart about this. So the way we do all of this is we train for our current body, not our past identity. So you got to be really honest with yourself. Where are you at right now? Are you at the beginning stages? You intermediate? You a little bit advanced? So train for your current body, not your past identity. Tempo over weight. I would rather see you slow down your tempo than increase your weight because a slower tempo will give you just as many results as a heavy weight will. Make lightweight feel heavy. With tempo, will make a lighter weight feel heavy. I promise you, I could take a weight half of what you're used to using, slow down your tempo, get your mind, your muscle connected, and you will feel like it's heavier. Prioritize quality over how much weight you're lifting. A quality rep. Really get your mind in, connect to the muscle that you're trying to work, and it changes everything. So smart progression. Don't go too quickly. Don't try and get to 315 so fast. Don't try and get to that next thing. Just go one day at a time and progress at your fitness level. And then replace intensity with consistency. This is vital right here, consistency. So that is point number 1. We're gonna go on to number 2. All right, so number 2, you're skipping the warm-up. And I'll be honest, I was guilty of that myself. I would just go into the gym, telling myself I didn't have the time, it wasn't important or any of that sort of stuff, but it is. As we get older, it is vital that we warm up. So do not skip your warm-up. Movement prep. Whatever the exercise you're going to be doing, do that movement. If you're going to bench press, just do a light bench press. It just makes common sense that you're stretching out the shoulders. If you're going to squat, do squats. It opens up your hips and all of that. Do activation exercises. Remember when you played sports, you wouldn't do static stretching like this. You would do things like this. And, they're more active type of exercises that we should be doing. It's just the way the body really wants to operate. And third, the mistake people make is they think it's a waste of time. It's not a waste of time. Trust me. If you want to be in this for the long haul, you've got to be doing this. So here's the problem when you're not doing the warm-ups. You have a high risk of injury, right? And then this is a big one. There's a slower neuromuscular activation. So if you get your body warmed up, by the time you get to the bench, by the time you get to whatever exercise you're getting ready to do, your muscles are prepared. You've pre-warned them that something's coming. Heavyweight, relatively heavyweight is coming, and that is the neuromuscular activation that we're looking for. You have a worse performance throughout the entire workout. If you're wasting 10 minutes of your workout because your body's warming up during the workout, then you just wasted a bunch of time. So schedule time to warm up before you go into the gym. You're gonna have stiff joints in limited range of motion. Range of motion is vital as we age, especially in your shoulders. So if you're not warming anything else up, make sure you're warming your shoulders up, man. Come on, let's be thoughtful about how we're exercising now. And then it just sets a poor tone, a poor energy for the entire workout if you're not prepping your mind and you're just rushing in there. But now listen, I would rather see you get into the gym and do something. So if you don't have time to warm up, make sure you're taking it nice and slow and treat the workout kind of like a warm up. So here's the fix for it. So just do a basic workout or a basic warm up. Jump rope is a good one. Jumping jacks are probably my favorite because you're opening up your hips, you're opening up your shoulders, you're getting your cardiovascular, you're draining your lymphatic system because you're bouncing up and down. So do not sleep on jumping jacks or jump rope. And then you can get on the treadmill 5 to 8 minutes and just get a sweat. That is the key. We want to get the body sweating. Do mobility works like I talked about. Get the hips activated, move them through full range of motion. And another big one is low back. Do like cat cows and things like this. So there are great stretching exercises that I can show you in another video, but you get the idea. You know these because they're all so basic, but that's what makes them more important because they're so basic and so simple. And then that's it. If one thing I want to leave you with this point, if you're squatting, don't stretch out your quads like this. Get under a bar or no weight at all and just squat through full range of motion because you're getting your knees open, you're getting your hips open, you're getting your ankles moving, you're getting your heart going, and then you can slowly add weight to the bar and you're going to be safe. Moving on to number 3. All right, so number 3, you have no recovery strategy. Think about this. You plan your workouts, you plan your business day, you plan your life, but if you're not planning your recovery strategy, then you're not gonna recover as efficiently as you could. You wanna be efficient, like you're a smart guy, you get all of this. So the mistake is you treat it like an afterthought. You're overtraining with no structured rest. We have to structure our rest. This is a big one for me. So many guys brag about what time they get up. I got up at 4 a.m. I set a bedtime. Set a bedtime. I'm telling you, I go to bed at 8 o'clock. If you do that, that's going to change the game for you. And don't drink yourself to sleep. That's not a good look. So you're ignoring mobility work in the sleep, in your nervous system, in stress. Don't overlook these things. Don't overlook mobility work. This is very important. Don't overlook sleep and your nervous system stress. You are a high performer. You're in a high performing job. Your nervous system is under a lot of stress. And then you add workouts to it with no recovery factored in. All of this stuff added together, just eventually it gets heavy on your body and it's rough. So here's why it's the problem. As we age, you have hormonal shifts which make recovery slower. Did you hear me? There's hormonal shifts. Men go through hormone shifts too. So that makes your recovery slower just because that alone. You have chronic stress because of life. There's lack of sleep. So you're getting poor results. And what happens when hormones shift? You have chronic stress. You're lacking in sleep. You have poor testosterone levels. This becomes an issue. Every guy wants to increase their testosterone levels and they're going and getting injections when you could be doing all of this right here. Then your risk of injury goes up and you have burnout, injury, and it takes longer to recover from any injury that you get. So what is the fix? Plan your recovery like you plan your training, man. If you have it mapped in, we're gonna do 5 minutes of warm up. We're gonna get sweating first. We're gonna do mobility work, jumping jacks. Plan it into your workout, factor it in. And then plan for 1 to 2 rest days per week. You know, on Sunday, you're not gonna do anything. Just chill out and relax, man. And then on your off days, if you wanna do something, then walk and do mobility work on your off days. So this is vital to do that as well. Another thing I want you to do is track your sleep. Get one of the sleep trackers. You get the OOF watches or whatever. Your Apple Watch will track your sleep for you. Foam roll, at least 10 minutes. It is huge. If you foam roll for 10 minutes, it's going to have massive reward for you. Here's the bottom line. High performers prioritize recovery. Okay, so number 4, you have no plan. You're just showing up and randomly walking around saying, oh, that looks good, or you're following somebody, maybe a girl in the gym, I don't know, but you have to have a plan. You wouldn't do business without a plan. So the mistake is no plan. I mean, it should be obvious to you as a businessman, you understand how important it is to be well thought out in everything that you're doing. We're talking about being efficient here. You're just doing random exercises. If you're just showing up and doing random exercises, that's not a good way to increase your gains. Because if you think about it, if you're just randomly exercising and you're getting older, like there's this converging tip-off point where it's not going to be a good use of your time. You have no structure. This is all pretty redundant. But here's a big one, no accountability. You need a training partner. You need somebody that's holding you accountable to doing a structured plan that's designed for you. And then without doing these things properly, there's no progression built in. We have to have progression built in. So if you squatted 135 last week for 8 reps, we want to at least be there again. So having the structure is going to help. So why this is a problem is every session must count. You don't have time to waste, man. You're an efficient guy and you understand that you have to be efficient with your time in the gym, the bedroom, the boardroom, all of these places. You got to be efficient everywhere. So if you have no structure, you're going to get stuck. Eventually, you're going to get stuck. And what happens when you get stuck? You're going to start getting frustrated. There's a chance you're going to injure yourself. And you're training randomly, you're going to lose motivation. Then you're going to stop showing up at the gym. And I'm going to hear from you. You're going to say, nothing works. I've tried everything. And then we're going to get you on point. So the fix is having a program that's tailored for you. You've tried the ebooks. You've tried all of the stuff. If that's not working, why would you do that again without having a structured program that's designed for you with all of the data present and available for that person who's ever making your program, so they know exactly what to do with you? And then you have to follow a structured split to help your recovery. If you're like 3 to 4 day workout, for example, or a push-pull, upper body, lower body, factoring in the rest days, like I said in the earlier point, so now you can see how this is all coming together. So if you track your workouts, the bottom line is you're going to get results. So here's what is going on here. You're not going to see any chance of a result if you might get a little bit of result, but as a business person, you got to understand that this is business. You would not go into a business meeting not prepared, not structured, not well thought out, and not ready to do your absolute best to make the most out of that time in that meeting. All right, and number 5, you got no data. You need data. Just like in your business, you would collect data and then make a plan according to what you've learned. Now, most of the data that we need from you is in your blood work, because as we're aging, our hormones become an issue. It's real for men just as much as it is for women. The mistake, you got to know what's going on with your hormones. You got to know what's going on with your inflammatory markers, your blood sugar, your cholesterol, your C-reactive protein, which is an inflammatory marker. Look, this is a huge mistake that I see guys making all of the time. You don't know anything about your hormones. And one thing I got to throw in there, you got to know what your PSA is, your prostate-specific antigen, to know if you're at risk for prostate cancer. That's how I found out that I had prostate cancer, was through blood work. So this is real business, man. Then you're relying on a feeling. Oh, I felt great. I had a pump. That's only good every once in a while. You are not relying on objective feedback. So every 3 to 6 months, when you're getting your blood work and you're getting the data, you can see what's going on. So the problem is our hormones are in decline. It's real. And you probably don't even realize it because it's a very slippery slope and it's very slow. And the next thing you know, you wake up and your dick's not hard. It's like, why? Well, because maybe your T levels have dropped down so much because your lifestyle isn't conducive to having it boosted naturally, because you know I'm all about boosting it naturally. You're training hard, so that's not always good. We have this pride of, oh, I trained hard today, but you're fatiguing, you're burning out, and you have poor hormonal health because you're just draining yourself. You have environmental stress, you have stress in the gym, you have financial stress, you have relational stress. So all of this adds up to poor hormonal health. So what is the fix? Get full labs every 3 to 6 months. And I'm going to tell you, your doctor, your general practitioner isn't giving you enough data. They're looking at maybe 8 data points in your blood. You're getting all the basic ones. You're getting your cholesterol, which they're going to probably give you poor information about. Look, I go into detail when I work with my guys. So the next thing I want you to do is take advantage of technology. I had a guy come here and he found out he was an AFib because of his Apple Watch. So take advantage of the technology. Track your sleep. Find out what's going on. Look at the areas based upon the data that you can improve upon and improve upon them. And then finally, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So I want you to measure it by getting your blood work done. I want you to make sure that you have a structured plan, you're focused, you're getting your recovery, you're prioritizing your rest, and you're not just being a guy that's acting like you're 20 years old and training like you did back then, because times are changing, but you can get jacked just as much at 61 as you can at 31 or 21. I'm telling you, I live this every single day. I want you to comment below. Tell me what you think about this video. Ask me your questions. Subscribe to this channel. Share this with someone. Set your notifications. And by all means, man, make sure you have a plan.